Des Moines City Council was packed for a special meeting on multiple ordinances tackling homelessness, as some call the proposals which more strictly address homelessness needed, and others say they criminalize the most vulnerable in our community. Local 5's Laura Bowen has what you need to know.
We already had a cruel system. I have seen it firsthand. I have seen it happen. I have seen it after the fact. I have seen the cruelty, and all this would do is speed it up.
But I also drive down MLK and I see the camping tents and I see what it does to our city and our community. I hear from our staff that have to go over the trash.
While people passionately disagree about homeless ordinances, there's one thing that everyone agrees on. Homelessness is a growing issue in Des Moines.
Des Moines Public Schools reports 736 students are currently experiencing homelessness or unstable living conditions. And according to Homeward, as of July 15th, there were 133 families on the waiting list to enter a family shelter.
One ordinance would ban camping on public property as well as sleeping on sidewalks, streets, alleys, doorways, or on public rights of way. People who violate these rules could be charged with a misdemeanor, but the legislation states that they would not be jailed. They could also be fined $50 with the option of community service if they can't pay. Additionally, police will offer one-time transport or directions to a shelter as an alternative to being charged.
This is a misdemeanor, plain as day. Stating that it is not criminalization is very simply a lie.
Councilmember Chris Coleman clarified with Local 5 that if there is no accessible shelter space when the violation occurs, a person will still be cited, but that in the appeals process, that could be used as a legitimate defense. Another ordinance would give people at least a 3-day notice to clear out an abandoned camp instead of the current 10-day notice rule. That also applies to camps that aren't abandoned, but people simply aren't there when notice is given.
And it is embarrassing to have visitors from out of town come, have people sleeping on the benches, sleeping in the sidewalks.
City Council has 2 more readings before they can pass those 2 ordinances.
The homeless people are protected by the Constitution, including due process, the right to be free from unwarranted searches and seizures, the right of free speech. This policy will violate people's rights.
One resolution, however, passed unanimously on its first and final vote. That resolution encourages city officials to take steps such as reducing barriers to emergency shelter before enforcing the other 2 ordinances if they do end up passing their final readings.